So many of you have asked about my inventory tracking system, specifically my inventory tracking spreadsheets. And up until now, I've been really hesitant to tackle sharing it because I'm not really that proficient at setting up equations in Google Sheets or Excel. But I have picked my husband's brain, and I think I can now explain how my sheet is set up. Today, I'll be walking you through exactly how my system works. Hi, I'm Carol. I've had an Etsy vintage shop for 3 years, and on this channel, I share what I'm learning about running my shop and what I'm learning about simplifying my workflows. And what I'm sharing today, my inventory tracking sheets, is a tool I could absolutely not be without. I set up this system when we first opened V Vintage Collectibles, and we have refined it over the years. Is it a perfect system? Nope. Does it work for me? Yes. Might it work for you? Maybe. Could you maybe just pick up a few tips? I think so. It's so easy to lose track of inventory once your shop starts growing. This sheet tracks an item from sourcing to listing to being stored awaiting for sale to the actual sale and shipping. You'll see that there are 4 types of information, all of which can be sorted so that you can study your own data and make better sourcing decisions. Inventory identification, sourcing information, listing and sales details, and profit and margin calculation. Now, please don't be intimidated. It may look really complicated at first because I'm going to walk you through setting up these sheets along with when and how to fill in the different columns on the sheets. But don't worry if you don't feel like you can set up your own sheets, because I've created a Google Sheets document which is linked in the description below so that you can copy and download a file that's already set up for 2026, 2027, and 2028. The file includes instructions, in case you can't remember everything I'm going to go through today in the video, examples, and inventory plus sold sheets for 3 years, and it's free. No need to even give me your email. Just copy the link and paste it into your browser, and then copy that document from my Google Drive. And if you mess it up, you can just come back and copy it again. Let's go with that demonstration. So these are the headings on the inventory sheet. Column A is for the SKU number. Column B is for the bin or the location where the item is stored. C is for the category, and I came up with about 20 categories of items that I sell that I like to track throughout the year. You have to keep these fairly consistent so that you can sort data later on, but you want to always go back and use the same categories, and I'll demonstrate that when I fill this in. The description is what the item is. The brand is the maker. Acquisition date is when I sourced it. This is where I sourced it from. Cost of goods sold is going to be in the form of currency. And so the listing price is also going to be in the form of currency. Okay, J is the sold amount minus the Etsy discount, and this is going to take an equation. It is L2 minus M2. And it shows up here, but when I click out of it, it just shows up 0. It will self-populate later on. This is how much I sold the item for minus the discount that I get for shipping. The customer pays the amount for the item plus calculated shipping, and then I subtract out how much I actually pay for the shipping. Let's pause briefly here so I can show you how to set up this shipping. You go to Settings, Shipping Settings, Rates and Upgrades, and you want to charge the customer post office retail rates. You then will pay the Etsy shipping label rates, but this is what the customer will be charged. K is the sell date. L is what the customer paid. And this is what they paid for the item and calculated shipping, not sales taxes. We never have to deal with those. Okay, column M is what I actually pay for shipping, my discounted shipping label rate. That's what goes there. Now, Etsy fee minus listing fees. This is also an equation. It is L2 times 0.09. Okay, this is the amount, 9%, that Etsy charges. I don't try to calculate listing fees because I don't know if that item has been up for 4 months or if it's been up for 16 months. And it's not really a big deal on my inventory sheet. All of these proper expenses get subtracted according to Etsy's figures for our taxes at the end of the year. So I don't worry about listing fees here. But this will populate when I start filling in that it was sold. This column O is where I put what I pay for offsite ads. Sometimes it's nothing. If it's nothing, I leave it blank. P is for gross profit, and that is also a calculation. So that is I2, which is what the customer paid, minus shipping, minus H2, which is cost of goods sold. And so it's going to show up as 0 because we haven't sold anything yet. Net profit is also, and this one is a little bit more tricky. And I don't know if I can talk while I do this or not. L2 times, no, L2 minus, in parentheses, H2 plus M2 plus N2 plus O2. Now, this is basically what the person paid minus all of my expenses. All of the expenses that are on this sheet, remember, this is not a tax sheet. This is just my inventory sheet. All right, I'm going to click out of there. I do also want that to show up as a dollar. Okay, it's going to show up as a currency. Next is my gross margin. So here, this is going to equal P2, which is my profit, divided by the selling price, which is I2. Okay, this is going to show up as an error until the sold numbers get input. But I do want this to show up as a percentage, so I'm going to click percentage. And then the rest of it is just comments, customer name, customer location. I don't keep their address, I just keep their city and state so I can sort it later on. Now, let's go through how you fill this out. First of all, I number all of my items according to the year, plus starting with number 1, number 2, 3, and so on. When I bring something home from sourcing it, I don't fill in the bin right away, but I will fill in the category. And the item that we are going to be listing is stemware, and it is a Park Lane champagne flutes set of 2, and it is from Mikasa. I acquired this set, oops, I always forget about that. I acquired this set on 3/2/2026 from my local Goodwill. And the cost of goods sold, which is the price of the item plus any sales tax I had to pay, was $8.94. So when I've sourced the item, this is all I fill in to begin with. And I leave it sitting out on a shelf. I don't put it away in a bin. I have to look at it till I get it listed. But let's say now I'm listing it. So I'm going to store it in bin 14. I know that already. And so I'm going to go right over to here. I'm going to list the set for $32. And the reason I know I'm going to list it for that is because I've sold this set before, and that's what I sold it for. Easy peasy. All right, so that's all you have to continue filling in when you list something, is just put the listing price and where you stored it. Now, let's say this item sells. And it did sell. It actually is sold very quickly, 3/7/2026. The customer paid, this is the price of the item plus the shipping, they paid $47.60. Now, I must say here, if the person used a discount coupon like 10% off, I would change that here. I would subtract $3.20. So this would be, what, $28.80 then, instead of $32. I have to adjust this listing price if I've sold it on sale, if there was any kind of a discount, because listing price actually becomes the selling price after it's sold. Okay, they paid $47.60. And then when I bought my Etsy discounted shipping label, I paid $13.88 for it. Okay, now when I hit enter, whoops, no, it's just going to happen. It's going to populate over here. And this is actually what I get from the sale after I've paid the shipping. You can see that this is $1.72, and that's usually about the amount that it is, more than what the person paid for the item. This extra amount is meant to cover my shipping, packages, my packing materials, my tape, my labels, anything else. And so that's why I do not offer the discounted shipping to my customers, because that is a way for me to be able to cover some of my costs. Now, as we move across here, since I have filled this in, everything over here has automatically populated. There was no offsite ad. The Etsy fee, which is 9%, came out to $4.28. Notice you are charged the fee on what the customer paid for the item plus what they paid for shipping. That's just the way it goes. The gross profit on this item was $23.06. The net profit, considering the expenses that were just on this sheet, was $20.50. And the gross margin came out to $72.06. So when I sell an item, I'm going to make this regular size again so I can show you how I highlight it. I am going to, just to be a signal that this item is sold, I'm going to highlight this line. I usually highlight it over to selling date. Okay? And then I will move this. I will physically highlight the whole row across, and then I will cut it and I will put it on my sold page. So after an item is sold, it no longer shows up on my active inventory sheet. And one more thing about these sheets, in order for those equations to get applied all the way down the sheet, what you're going to do on every column that has an equation, starting with J, you will just highlight that box, cell, highlight that cell, and then grab this little blue dot and pull it all the way down the sheet. And it will show up as zeros at first, but that's how you apply these equations all the way down the sheet. Just grab the corner of that and pull it down. Otherwise, only your first row is going to actually respond to the equations. You have to pull that equation down. There you go. And I misspoke earlier. This is actually 72.06%. I said it poorly before. I apologize for that. And remember that this particular column here is going to show up as an error until the item sells and there's actually numbers to put in there. Okay, I think that's it for the demonstration. I know that was a lot. The spreadsheet itself isn't really the most important part. What matters is having a system that helps you understand your numbers so that you can make better sourcing decisions, which will lead to your shop being more profitable. And finally, I just want to assure you again, if you'd like to try this system yourself, there's a link to the Google Sheets template in the description. You can make a copy and adjust it for your own shop. Thanks for being here today.